So 4 years ago, I decided to leave New Jersey and move to Louisiana. I packed up my son and I, and we headed out. I had to get rid of a lot of stuff, and I was angry and I was sad about it. But I was moving with she was my fiance then, and she didn't have enough room. It was just her prior to meeting me. And, now it's going to be me, my son, and her living in the space. And she was like, listen, I know you have a lot of stuff because I had just moved out of my own attic apartment. I was staying with my son's family. His dad and I had this plan that, we would stay there and save up. But that never happened. And then we eventually broke up and I just put my stuff in storage. And I was staying with my mom and my cousin. So I was couch surfing and yeah, with my son. And his dad was not helping me back then either. And in my mind, I thought the bare minimum that he was doing was enough because the bare minimum that my dad did for us, my mom made it seem like it was enough. Even if she complained about it, she still took it. So I was like, well, I guess that's enough. So I moved to Louisiana because I pretty much was like running, like trying to get away. Like I couldn't take it anymore. I had spent my entire life in that town and I hated it. Like I didn't like how I felt. I felt like an outsider. In the friends that I did make that I felt like, were like me, it took me years to realize like that, you know, or accept the fact that my some of my family, some of my cousins, like they were mean to those friends. And just going through all the shit that I've been through in life and just, researching up on narcissism and things like that and how family could be. And because it was this veil. Like I saw my family for who they were, but it was always this veil, like family is everything and loyalty. And those were the worst, to be quite honest, they were the worst people to me, my family. So just, going back to my friends, all right, some of my cousins were mean to my friends. And I feel like they were mean to them and pushed them out just so they can have control over me. Like I have cousins that are like that. I stopped allowing it. So, I don't know if they outgrew being like that or not. I don't know if it's still in them, but I don't be around them enough to know if they still carry that energy. But I just know that growing up in an environment like that it, like, it made me question who I was. Like I felt like I didn't have a backbone. I felt like I didn't have a say in my life. Like I felt like I was performing for my family. And then, like, what, that's a lie. I felt like, not I felt like, but I know on one hand I was being this person that my family wanted me to be, and then behind closed doors I was struggling with so much, and I was using alcohol and sex to deal with it. And it wouldn't just be like one partner. Like I was dealing with multiple partners because, like, I didn't want to be bound to one person. When I first started dating, I thought that you meet with that one person for life and, like, that's it. Maybe that's how it was for me in other lifetimes, and so I still carried that with me. But I just remember the first guy I was ever with and thinking that we were going to be together forever, and it did not go that way. Like it didn't at all. And and then after that, like I met this guy and I fell in love with him, but he was just like the beginning of my father. And like I would date these men that, like, they had a lot of mommy and daddy issues like myself, and they didn't like themselves. And I think it wasn't that I don't think that I didn't like myself. The people around me, because they treated me so poorly, because they were so abusive, it made me think that maybe I'm the problem. And that's what made me not like myself, because I was like, if I was well behaved, if I was nicer, if I was quieter, then they wouldn't be doing these things to me. So, just growing up like that, you don't like yourself. Like I pretended like I did, but I didn't like myself. I was disgusted with myself because that's how I was treated. Like I didn't matter. But my grandmother My grandmother never made me feel like that. Like never, ever. My grandmother accepted me and she let me be who I was, like, period. Like she just plenty of times we would have conversations about, church and getting saved. And, I would tell my grandmother, like, I understand that, you want us to just get right and, get on the right path, but you got to give me time. And she respected that and she was very understanding of that. And I like to think that, and I don't know if this is like weird, codependent, what's the other word? What is it called when you get away from your slave master, but you still like you still feel bound to them and like they're your owner. I forgot Stockholm. Um, I don't. I hope it's not a form of that, but a part of me likes to think that my grandmother was more chill with me and understanding. I like to think that she did that because she know how to do that for my mom. My mother, my grandmother had 8 children, 4 boys first, and then 4 girls. My mother was the oldest. My mother is the oldest girl, excuse me, and she's number 5. She's number 5 out of 8 kids, and I know that my mom had like a lot of energy and was all over the place. And back then, they didn't diagnose young girls. They didn't diagnose girls as much as they did with boys. So they didn't have a language for the type of behavior my mom was displaying. And my grandmother was, all these kids and she young and she like, I just need you to stop doing all of this. Like, please, like chill out. And I think that my mom just, shut down and went somewhere and never returned. Um, and, you know, I just like to think that me uh having such a big personality, such a presence about myself, having such a big voice, and having the ability to make people laugh. It's not easy making people laugh. It's not. It's not. I'm serious. It's not. I study comedians, and trust me, it's not easy to make people laugh. Like, you can get up there shucking the job and being a fucking clown, but to really like think deeply and make somebody laugh at like how fucking crazy and chaotic this world is, like, yeah. So I, yeah, I like to think that, and I'm keeping all of this in, by the way. Like, I know that I don't have to say that, but I feel like I need to because it's for me. I've been doing this for so long, and I used to think that I had to be perfect. Like, I used to like the editing alone used to just make me stop because I used to take out so much stuff because I'm like, oh my God, I don't want them to see my real personality. I don't want them to see that I'm a very silly person. Like, because I used to get in trouble so much being silly because people in my family would equate being so silly like you dumb and you empty headed and you don't know nothing and you need to stop acting like that. And it's like, no, actually, I'm very highly intelligent. I dumb myself down for you guys. I laugh and I giggle because I'm a child. I may look like a grown up person. You maybe you felt that my soul was very old, but in this lifetime, nigga, I'm 5. So you need to chill. I never, I don't want to say never, but it was very rare that I just got allowed to be a kid. Like my son, my son giggle, like it's just something about listening to like children laugh and be themselves and just have so much wonder and so much freedom. And like they don't have nothing to be scared of. Like, I did not have that. Like, I did not have that. Like, I don't even remember what my original point was. Oh, moving to Louisiana to get away from all of that. And so I remember moving to Louisiana, and I remember being very scared. I remember driving there with my wife, and it was a very long drive. And I've mentioned this in another video. I think it was 16 hours, and my wife drove the entire time. And I know that it's fucked up, but I was so checked out because I literally like ran. Just I got away. It was like that scene in What's Love Got to Do with It when they was in the infamous limo scene when she turned around and she started hitting like back because you're gonna be fucked up, right? Like that's how I felt when I got away. Like I just up and quit my job and I just took my son. Like I let me say this. His dad made it clear that he was about to leave. And I'm like, I'm trying to figure out how to save up and you know and get him in school. Squeeze me. I know you lying, Aretha. I come on, fam. I'm in the middle of a conversation. Are you serious right now? She disrespectful as hell. Come on, Juicy. I hope y'all still take me serious with my cat in the way. Hold on, y'all. Aretha, come on, man. Come on, man. You want to sit on mommy? Sit right here, but come on, bro. Why you do that? Cats don't care, yo. She always do that when I'm journaling. She just sit her little tuckers right on my notebook. But yeah, I had to go. Like I had to get up out of here. I was so checked out. Like I was. And so I couldn't help my wife do that drive because I was just like I was scared. I was happy to get away. I was so happy to get away, but I was so scared. Like I feel like I was telling y'all something else, but Juicy threw me off when she brought her ass over here. But yeah, oh, okay. So my son, I'm trying to figure out how to raise my son. Mind you, during COVID, right? His father showing off in front of his family told me to get out. We were supposed to be saving up money to find a better place. And mind y'all, I left my apartment. The rent was $675, but this was back in the day. This was 2018, which is not that far. Like it wasn't that long ago, but I left that apartment because the landlord, like, he was mean. He was mean as fuck. And that was another thing. I had to learn how to stand up for myself. I was always the one when my mom needed to like handle like important things, like go up to the school for my little brother. I used to go with my mother a lot and I would be the voice for her. And mind you, I was very young doing that stuff. Like, I don't know where I was pulling it from, but like I was being like the voice for my mother. But I still, she didn't teach. Okay, so because I was a voice for her, how the hell she was gonna teach me how to stand up for myself? So dealing with this landlord, like, first of all, I do not like confrontation because growing up, that's all I seen was my mom and them fighting. But also because my family, they're very passive aggressive. Like even on both sides. Even the most outspoken people on both sides of my family are passive fucking aggressive. Nobody really is direct with each other unless they're being a bully. But like nobody really, communicate and have a conversation like a grown fucking person. Like everybody just be passive aggressive or they either be a bully. So nobody communicates effectively. So I'm teaching myself. I'm reparenting myself on knowing how to do. Because I'm like, if you know how to do it to protect somebody in your family, you got to be the same way with yourself. So I'm figuring out how to do it. But this landlord, like, he was a piece of shit. And so, like, I had to get on. I had to get on. So we decided to move with his family, and thinking that I'm thinking that, we gonna save. Like again, still living in fairy tale land. This man ain't had nothing for me. And this man been showed me before I had my son that he ain't have nothing for me no more. And he showed me that we should have only had sex and kept it moving. But my grandmama taught me, and I used to hear her say to my mom and them when they used to be going off about the dads, well, they here now. So stop saying that. But I'm just saying. So I had to try to figure all this shit out, and I was like, you know what? He said he leaving, so I'm just gonna get my baby and I'm gonna get the fuck on, because it's hard saving up money and living with family, and you know I really thought we was gonna move in with them and like save up money. We got there and like he just switched it up on me. Like he switched it up on me big time. And I remember being at my lowest and being really depressed, living in that house with him and his family. Like, shout out to my therapist, because I remember I told her I just wanna right into the street. And she was like, oh no, like we can't have that. Like God most high was like, okay, because we know you hard headed and we gonna show you something. And I seen their family and I seen all their family history, all their ancestral pain. And I felt that shit living in the house. Like, and I was in an attic apartment and it was so hard for me to sleep. Like my body would be shaking. This was before I understood my gifts. But I could feel the dysfunction in that home. And I was so depressed. Like I was so checked out. And one of his cousins, who was supposed to be my friend, but she really wasn't my friend, she was the type of person that she was looking for the next opportunity. My arm twitched when I said that. She was just looking for the next friend that she could dick ride. Like, simply put, like, you know how people. Okay, so I'm still learning about narcissists and narcissism, but both of my parents are. My dad is just a flat out narcissist. My mom is a covert narcissist, so she's a little more like sneakier with her shit. And I think it's just because my dad is a man, he just outright could be like that, you know. Um, but I remember okay, so the cousin, right? We started out as friends, and I just remember her being so like, I used to do vlogs and I used to write a lot. And I remember her, reaching out to me and, like, oh, like I admire your work. I love what you do, blah, blah, blah. Like, and then especially when you come from the hood and you trying to make it, like, people, some people will be proud of you genuinely. And then you get some people that pretend like they proud of you because they want to fucking ride your coattail, or they want to secretly hate so they can get your sauce, so they can use it. I'm a glutton for punishment. Like, cause my discernment be on point with people, but I don't like fucking listen. I'm hard headed, and I know I be stressing out my guys and my answers. I know they be at this moment like, bitch, don't listen. But I have to learn. I have to learn. So, it started off good in the beginning, but I did notice like her obsession with who I was. It wasn't genuine. Like, I thought she was genuinely pouring into me and love me, like had love for me, but no, like she was messy and she had a lot of trauma that she didn't deal with. And what she liked about me was that I didn't think that I was bigger than a program. Like, I would, even though I knew that people admired me, I still would pour back into them. Like, they might comment under something and be like, oh, like, oh, this was so dope. I'm so proud of you. And I'd be like, oh, thank you, friend. Happy belated birthday, by the way. Like, even though they were, and no lie, I'm not fucking lying. Like, that's really how I am. Even though they were congratulating me, like, it's still like I have a hard time with just taking something and just letting it be for me. Why? Because my family, they make everything about them. My brother, he makes everything about him. My son father made everything about him. I remember my gender reveal. That nigga he cursed me out. Mind y'all, I was pregnant, running around, running all the errands. I'm pregnant. Only thing I should have been doing that day was getting my nails and my feet done and getting pampered. I had to go pick up the food. Everything I ordered it. I was responsible for making sure that everybody in my family and his family knew. I did everything, and that nigga still turned around and was being a piece of shit to me. Like, flat out narcissist. Like, when I tell you the biggest demon, and that cousin, man, I really thought she was my friend. Like, I really thought she was. But, again, like, my parents was like that with me. So that didn't seem foreign. That didn't seem foreign to me at all, to have a friend like that, to have a friend that. And another thing that I did notice too was that, like, she would call me and I would always have to solve her problems. Well, that's what I thought I did anyway. Well, I thought I had to do anyway. So I had, after all of that, I had decided that I had enough, because eventually, with living with his family, it became everybody bullying me. And I'm not lying. Like, people straight deciding that they don't want to talk to me. I didn't do anything to them, but they all decided they didn't want to talk to me. But y'all want to know some shit? That's exactly how it was in my family. My aunt passed away um the same day that Bernie Mac and Isaac Hayes, like around that same time. And I remember the guy that I was dating at the time, we had went to the we drove down to the shore. I can't remember which shore we drove down to, but we just went down there and we got fucked up. Like, we when I tell you, like, my life, like, I used to be just doing shit. Like, I didn't care. Like, I was living my best life. Like, for real. I'm gonna tell y'all a lot of shit that I've been through, but at the same time I still had fun. So I just remember, we down here, we got like a little too drunk, and we ended up getting some janky little room, some Chilligan Island type of room. And then I got the call, like, Auntie is in a hospital and we don't know if she's gonna make it. So we fly up there, right? He fly up there to get me. And I remember we were always outside of the hospital, and then everybody, because my family is huge. This was my aunt on my dad's side. My family was huge, and that was my favorite aunt. And I'm gonna get to why. So my aunt, right? Oh, I'm sorry. So we going up in teams to go, see her. And so I get on the elevator, y'all. It was 10 of us on that fucking elevator. My family's big. And my cousin, at the time, she was not talking to me because a fake ass friend, the friend that I was telling you about in the last video that noticed she did me wrong, but when I was like struggling with postpartum, she told that this cousin I'm talking about right now, check on your cousin. Because she knew she was wrong. I, I'm a glutton for punishment. I be wanting to fix women that's like fucked up like me. Like seriously, and I'm not saying that in the victim me feel sorry for me way. It's a self realization that that's how I was. So I would never forget being on that elevator and everybody standing around my cousin. They always hovering around her. Like we all was sad, but they always hovering around her. And my aunt, I remember my aunt, she the youngest out of my grandmother kids. It's 10 of them. My father had 10 siblings. I remember my aunt looking like, what the fuck? Like, why all of y'all over there? She didn't say nothing because I told you they not going. And this aunt, she not like that. Like, my aunt not like that. Like, but she was just watching. Like, why is all of them over here? And she, hmm, that wasn't the time for that. First of all, that friend lied. And that shit hurt my feelings that it was that easy for my cousin to believe her. Like that was one of the worst days for a long time. Like that was one of the worst days of my life to have my cousin do that. Like our aunt just died. And the reason that she stopped speaking to me, it was so childish. Like it really was. I wasn't invited to my cousin baby shower or nothing. And that shit hurt my feelings because that was like one of the last times that my aunt was alive. But because that girl infiltrated in our family, because she came, because first of all, let me say this, my family on both sides, cult. I come from a big ass family, and I don't give a fuck. Even the most outspoken, they can be led, they can be brainwashed, and I, in hindsight, I understand like that. I had a different purpose, and that's why I'm able to talk to y'all. But that shit still hurt, you know. Before I realized what this was, that shit, and I'm still working through that because you decided that you wasn't gonna speak to me over something that somebody said instead of talking to me. And we were young. We was 21, 22 years old. And I just remember being in that elevator and like when you lose somebody in your family, like this when everybody's supposed to be like, you know what I'm saying? Like coming in, pulling in, like, yo. And they just left me on the other side of the elevator, following behind her. And I've had people do that to me all my life. They get mad at me. I don't know what I did to them, and I'm not perfect. So if I did something, check me, let me know. And I'm gonna work on it. And I've had friends that let me know, like, yo, and I'll be like, oh my God, my bad, I apologize. Because the best apology is change behavior, and I'll work on it. But when you just decide, like, you secretly don't like somebody and you just creating, like, uh, fucking enemies, like you piling up people to be against this person, I dealt with that shit a lot. I've been pushed out of a lot of groups. I remember when I tried to pledge in college, like, let me tell you something, them bitches, my ex-boyfriend, even though he's a piece of dog shit, he had to tell him, let me tell you something. Whether she drop or whether she cross, y'all better leave her alone because she gonna boot bop all of y'all. And he knew that. I'm happy I scared your ass. Move. I was I was vibing y'all. What you gonna do that for? But excuse me. Oh my God. Why would she do that? Why would she do that? So going through all of that, I was like, you know what, I'm taking my ass to Louisiana with my wife. And so I went to Louisiana and I remember that whole time just trying to fight all of them demons. I still was struggling with alcohol addiction. And I remember right around this time, I remember I had got so drunk, like so drunk, and I was so mean to my wife and my son. Like I was mean, and like they were looking at me like, what the fuck is going on? Because I was so hurt, and I was trying to figure out how to deal with that hurt. And then at the same time, my son dad, when I moved to Louisiana, mind you, he said he was leaving too. But when he seen that I was serious, he doubled down on his shit. I hope I'm using that right. Stop looking at me. Come on, man. You only be thinking about me. He doubled down on his shit and he made things very difficult for me while I was out there. Like, we had to go to court, and because he didn't have a stable environment for my son, and I did. I was a stay-at-home mom at the time because I was trying to start fresh. Like, I couldn't take it no more. Like, I did. But we did 8 weeks on, 8 weeks off. But I always had to be the one that pay. So I was using my pension money to pay back and forth to from Louisiana to New Jersey every 8 weeks for my son's was it his fourth or fifth birthday? I think maybe his fourth birthday. I will never forget. I sat on that couch and I waited for his dad to call me for his birthday. Everybody in my family was trying to call. Everybody was trying to call. Everybody. Because that man had been a part of my family. Like, my family, I'm telling y'all, them motherfuckers, they off the chain. But they do they be nice to people. Strangers are welcome. They are. If you're a good fit to be in the cult. But yeah, like, like my family, they tolerated him because they like, well, I mean, cuz like, kid, I love it. I was fucked up behind that. Like, my son is my everything. My son is my heart. I learned on Mother Ayahuasca, sitting in plant medicine ayahuasca, that I've had a son in another life. And I used to think that I couldn't even have kids. And so then not having parents that was not kind to me, I love my son. Like, I love my son, and I show up every day trying to figure out how I could be the best parent that I could be. Not perfect, but a healthy parent to my son, because I know he need that. I'm raising a little black boy in this raglass America. We ain't gonna be here for too much longer, but while we here, I gotta get my baby together. I gotta teach my baby shit that my mama and daddy ain't teach me. And I'm still teaching him stuff that his daddy not teaching him because his dad is not well. That man is sick. The justice system failed him. And instead of him saying, but I got this. I've worked with clients like his dad. That was my job before I was like, I can't do this again. But I remember that fucking day. Like, that shit hurt my heart. That was the worst pain ever. And I want to tell y'all something. I'm still new to spirituality, and I'm learning. Like, I know we're not supposed to gloat. I learned that in church about gluten and like kicking people while they down. I don't know what that is, what scripture that is in the Bible, but I know we're not supposed to do that and stuff. And vengeance is the Most High. I understand that, but I know that nigga is reaping what he sowed. I know he is, and I be having to tell myself, like, let it go, like, let it go. Feel your feels, but let it go, because he gonna get it. The universe, what goes up must come down. Like, you can't just be doing shit to people. But that shit really hurt my heart that he did that to me. That he let me talk to my son that whole day until 9 o'clock. Like, I feel like that was one of the things that just drove me over the edge. And I survived, and I outsmarted, and I beat that nigga. So yeah, me. Yeah, me. I'm just sharing with y'all, but I got away from him. And now when I see him, when we doing drop off once every 10 days, because that's it. I make sure I get out that car. I make sure I get out that motherfucking car. Because the things that my son be sharing with me and the type of shit that his father be saying to him, that's exactly how my parents used to be to me. So I get about that car. Now, what you had said, don't do that to my son. What type of man does that? We supposed to be raising this boy together. You supposed to be teaching him things that I do not know how to teach him because I am a woman. You a man, you dad. He is not capable of teaching my son those things. I didn't intend for the conversation to go this way. And if I'm being honest, my body, y'all, my body's so tired. I have all this creative energy and I know I'm in a flow state. I know I am. But at the same time, it's like I feel like I'm releasing. And so I need to rest. Yeah, because as I said that, like I felt like my back felt like but I'm not used to this. I'm used to always having to fight, 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 fight. Because I just been around some fucked up people. And because I thought that, that's what I deserve. This is who I deserve to be around. Even though since I was 14, I kept saying I was not staying in this town forever. And I remember my boyfriend at the time, like, oh, you think you better? Like, bro, no. But I know better. I know I'm better than this. I know I ain't doing this. So I know I'm being called to rest. I know it's like rest, you know. You're getting some upgrades and you gotta rest. But it hurts, man. I miss my grandma. But, I understand things happen the way they're supposed to. I understand she finished her cycle here. I miss my sister. And I understand that, she finished her cycle here at 39. You know, I know that she's okay and I know that my grandma's okay. But I do miss them. I've just been home with my thoughts and home with myself. And I know that I'm not that same person anymore. Like, I know that this person that I'm telling you about, like all the things that that person been through, like she worked through that. And she had to die so many times, y'all. I'm proud of her and I give her grace. I know that I'm different. I feel different, but I also feel scared because all my life people have controlled me and told me what to do. And I hated that because I know I'm a free spirit. I hated listening to people. I never felt I was in control of my life. Um, my mom always had to say, my creepy ass dad always had to say, my grandmother was the only one that let me be great. Like, even going to college, like, I didn't know. I wanted to be a gynecologist, but I had no idea where to even begin. And I think that, you know, had my mom not been so, like, overbearing, but also not helpful at all, things probably would have turned out differently. But it's also like I understand that things happen the way that they're supposed to. But then I also thought like when you like each decision is a portal. So I could have went to school to be a gynecologist, but then it was like that was not meant for me to do. Like, is all that makes sense? I don't want to drag this out any longer, but I made a commitment to myself to speak my truth. You know, may it be messy, authentic, long as it's the truth, and may it set me free. I said it better the first time, but but yeah, um, it is scary deciding that just know, like I want to unplug from what the fuck this system is, and I want to figure it out on my own. And don't get me wrong, you'll want to like go back, like you'll like oh what, because you'll feel like you're just free falling and you're looking for that safety net. You're looking for that 9 to 5 that stress you the fuck out. That 9 to 5 they got the benefits, but it stress you the fuck out. That 9 to 5 with that consistent check, but it stress you the fuck out. You're looking for that net. And I know that like I've done, let me tell y'all, like I don't I don't give myself enough credit for the shit that I have accomplished in my life. Like I suffer from imposter syndrome like bad. Like every day I have to remind myself, like, you have done so much, nigga. Big dog, big fish in a small pond. Please stop playing in your own face. I remember, I remember when I was still looking for a job when I was in Louisiana, and I will never forget. I had submitted my resume to this woman. She had this program where she would do a one consultation for free, and then if you wanted to continue to work with her, it was obviously a fee. So I just I was like, okay, I gotta go to work. Mind you, I was scared. I didn't know what to do with myself. I left and I went to Louisiana because I fucking couldn't take it no more. And that whole entire time, I was healing my inner child. I was coming out of survival mode. I was battling alcohol addiction. I had just, what they say, like, I don't even like saying coming out, but I had just started coming into myself and being comfortable with myself. And with me, like, I go all in. Like, it literally was like, you knew I was with my son father. Then we wasn't together. And then a year later, I'm engaged to be married to a woman, which is my business. But it was fast. It was a lot to take in. And it was like, I didn't feel in control of my life. Like, that part of it, don't get me wrong, like, that part I did. Like, I did. But it was just like, now I have to learn this part of myself that does love women. And I got to dig in this part of myself because I'm a woman. So, how do I be with another woman? Like, like, it was just a lot that was going on, and a lot that I was, struggling and trying to figure out. And again, because we just grew up in a society that you just have to work, 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 work. I was scared. I was like, I gotta go to work. Like, I like, oh, what I'm gonna do? What I'm gonna do? And I just remember submitting my resume to this woman, and she read it, and she was like, and I'm loosely paraphrasing. Okay, she was very professional about it, but she just basically said to me, like, you have a really good resume. You have, like, great experience in a lot of things. And why are you playing in your own face? Why are you dimming your own light? Again, that's not literally what that lady said to me, but that's pretty much what she said professionally. Like, and because it was outside validation, I was like, okay, okay, right, right, you right, lady. But I still didn't feel that in myself. I still was struggling. I still was like fighting for my fucking life. The day of my wedding, right? It was a very private ceremony. Um, and I think about that too, because I'm like, I wanted to be private because I just was so tired of my family being in my business, and I just wanted to just be to myself. But I want to go back and do something big and beautiful. But, and also back then, I didn't feel like I deserved that. Like, I would watch everybody around me be like, I deserve this for myself, and I'll be like, well, they deserve it, and I'm happy for them. But that makes you bitter, and that makes you mean, and that makes you jealous of people when you don't think that you deserve those things too, because you'll feel like you want what that other person have. And I think that's how not I think, but because we're gonna keep it real, that's how I started to become. I started to, like, be angry and jealous, and I would never do anything to, like, sabotage or hurt my friends. Like, I would still show up for them, but like, there was a part of me that felt that. Like, let me tell you something, because I don't watch them viral videos of how them young ladies be when they really don't like their friend. Like, that was not me. I was always that friend that showed up, and I love my friends. But the more and more I put my friends before me, it made me bitter. Like, I started to become bitter. But I was not like, from the very, no, my friends was my friends, and I loved them. Even with having a mom that bullied me, even having with a dad that bullied me and was creepy to me, like, that was my friends, like, protecting my friends, like, that was my safe haven. I heard that. So I would never, like, do that. Like, like, it just came from years of feeling overlooked. But the day of my ceremony, I remember I had sat in a tub because my wife had to go get her cousin. He was our witness, and he was a part of our party. She had to drive. We was in Baton Rouge. She had to drive Louisiana. That's about an hour and some change away. So that whole entire time they were going, I sat in the tub and I was reading The Body Keeps Score, because I was like, I gotta get well for my wife. I gotta get better for my wife. Like, I gotta make sure that, like, in a few hours I'm good. And I know that's not how it works, but, like, that's how much I was tired of being in pain. Like, tired of, like, this ache in my heart, this loneliness, this, like, this. this wanting to be loved and accepted and understood. And yeah. So when she did my resume, I never forgot that. And even years later, like, I went, not, let me back up. I had to come back to Jersey, and I ended up going back to a job that I left the first time. And again, the job was like Tina getting away from Mike and then deciding to go back. And that's what I did. And from day one, I had issues. Like, I started October 31st, 2022. I went back to that job. And by April, I was in a real bad argument with one of the women that I worked with at the time. Just like when I first started at that job, they had promised somebody that was already working for that particular department, they promised them a position. Then they interview me and I get the position. Now, back then, I used to think they gave it to me because I was so well qualified because I had that good ass resume. No, they gave that shit to me because they needed somebody to be a yes man. Yes, that is why. They needed somebody that they knew was going to rock the boat. Like, even though I did a lot of my community, I did a lot of programs for the kids because I grew up in that same place, and I was like, no, like, y'all not doing them like that. I didn't always have a backbone. Like, I wouldn't always, because I didn't like confrontation. Like, I didn't know how to do, I didn't know how to do it. And uh, once the people above me, like, realized that, they started to use that to their advantage. And I was experiencing spiritual warfare. Like, let me tell y'all something, like, real talk. And I know people that I know some of y'all gonna understand. You could tell when somebody playing in your energy. You could tell when people really doing fuck shit in your energy. And that's what they was doing to me at that job. By the time I left that job, like, I was seeing visions of the shit that they was doing to me. Yes. And honestly, that made me, like, I was like, yo, I'm tired. I'm done. I worked hard. I bust my ass to accomplish so many things in life. And now I want to do what I want to do. But I am scared because, again, it's like you're free falling, and mother, God, creation, whatever you want to call it. I refer to her as mother. She like, I got you. Fall back. Fall back. Do the trust fall. I got you. And and there's a part of me that's scared. But the thing is, y'all, that whole time I was at that job, I was putting on all these different programs. Like, that was my magic. That was my magic. And nobody never said congrats. Yo, my boss, female boss at that. I don't even like calling that bitch my boss. And I said what I said. Like, one time showed up to an event that she lived down the street from, event from an area that she grew up in, just like me. Not one, like, once. I don't want to lie and say not one time. I mean, not ever, but one time showed up. That's it. And they played and they played and they played and they played in my face. I still, I'm still working through accepting the fact that it's some people that they're not nice people. They're so broken. They're so hurt. And they don't know what to do with pure light. They don't know what to do with pure cocaine light. They don't.